Are you looking for the best digital cameras? In this video we will look at some of the best digital cameras. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Nikon Z6 III. Nikon has been knocking it out of the park lately, and their latest enthusiast model, the Nikon Z6 III, is one of the best all-around hybrid cameras we've tested. With a unique partially stacked sensor, an excellent autofocus system, and some of the most advanced internal video recording specs of its class, this is a seriously well-rounded camera for both photography and video work. We're talking quick burst rates, minimal rolling shutter distortion, and 6K RAW recording internally. On top of that, it's well built and weather-sealed, with effective in-body image stabilization (IBIS) and a high-resolution electronic viewfinder (EVF). Of course, all that power comes with an expensive price tag. Plus, Nikon Z series is relatively new, so it doesn't have the widest lens selection, especially compared to competitors like Sony. If you want more lens options for your camera, consider the Sony Alpha 7 IV. It falls behind the Nikon in a few areas, with a slower max burst rate and no 6K or RAW video support. However, it has a more intuitive autofocus system and a more established lens ecosystem, with many more third-party options. You can't go wrong at this level, but if you're looking for the best at this price point, the Nikon Z6 III is seriously impressive. Number 2. Panasonic LUMIX GH7. The Panasonic LUMIX GH7 is a powerhouse option for advanced video work. It's one of the most advanced micro four thirds cameras on the market, and it's largely designed with videographers in mind. Nice touches include a built-in fan to reduce overheating, a tilting and fully articulating screen, full-sized HDMI, and a wide range of ports, along with a ALIEXPRESS card slot for more demanding video formats. But while the exterior is nice, it's what's inside that really sets this camera apart. Internal ProRes formats, including RAW, 5.8K open gate, 4K at up to 120 frames per second, external SSD support, class-leading in-body image stabilization, 32-bit float audio capability, you get the idea. Now, if all of the above sounds like gibberish to you, this camera is likely overkill for your needs. Thankfully, most modern cameras today also have rock-solid video capability, so you might be better served by one of our picks below. If you're willing to compromise on some of the above features, the Panasonic LUMIX S5 II offers incredible value for its price for video work. You'll have to give up features like internal ProRes support and RAW video output, to name a few, but it's cheaper than the GH7, and its full-frame sensor has a slight low-light advantage. Number 3. Fujifilm X-T5. If you prefer the portability and generally lower price offered by a smaller sensor, consider the Fujifilm X-T5. At 40.2 megapixels, its sensor has the highest resolution of any APS-C sensor on the market, giving you stunningly detailed images and lots of leeway to crop in your photos if needed. With its portable design, dedicated exposure dials, and three-way tilting screen, the X-T5's photography-first design is also great for street or travel photos. Though it's aimed primarily at photographers, the camera has some surprisingly impressive video specs, with internal 10-bit capture, log recording, and 4K video at up to 60 frames per second without a crop. The Fujifilm X-H2 uses the exact same sensor as the X-T5 and is tailored even more towards pros and hybrid shooters, with a ALIEXPRESS card slot and 8K video capture. The Fujifilm X-H2S, meanwhile, uses a lower resolution stack sensor, which reduces rolling shutter distortion and makes it a better fit for fast subjects and action. Still, both of these models are bulkier and pricier, so we recommend the X-T5 for most people. If you want to save even more money, you can buy older used models in the X-T series, like the Fujifilm X-T4, which still holds up very well despite having a lower resolution sensor and lacking some of the latest video features. Number 4. Sony Alpha 6700. A long-awaited update to Sony's APS-C lineup, the Sony Alpha 6700 is one of the best mid-range cameras on the market. With advanced video specs that bring it up to today's standards, including 4K 120 frames per second capture, internal 10-bit 4:2:2 recording, and IBIS, it's a great choice for hybrid and video shooters. It's no slouch for photography, either, with a 26-megapixel backside illuminated APS-C sensor that captures stunning images with plenty of detail and dynamic range, along with best-in-class autofocus. That said, the camera does have some limitations. If, for example, you need raw video output, the Fujifilm X-S20 has you covered and also supports 6.2K open gate recording. 4K recording is, however, capped at 60 frames per second on the Fuji, and its autofocus system is less reliable. Sports and wildlife shooters may also prefer the slightly pricier Canon EOS R10, which has better ergonomics and faster burst shooting but a more limited lens selection. 26.0 MP APS-C format XMR are back illuminated CMOS sensor. Bion's XR processing power for exceptional image quality. Dedicated AI processor and real-time recognition for accurate subject tracking. 4K/60p 6K oversampled 4:2:2 10-bit recording with long GOP or all intra formats. High frame rate 4K 120p recording. Number 5. Canon EOS R10. Canon is king when it comes to entry-level models, with a range of affordable, easy-to-use bodies at different price points. The best of these is the Canon EOS R10, which marries the familiar ergonomics and intuitive interface Canon is known for with a great APS-C sensor, some surprisingly advanced video specs, and one of the best autofocus systems you can find at this price point. The biggest drawback is that lens selection for Canon's RF mount is still quite limited, but if that isn't a deal-breaker, there's plenty to love here. Alternatives with more established lens lineups include the Fujifilm X-S10 and the Sony Alpha 6400. The Fujifilm is one of the few cameras at this price point with IBIS, which can help you get smoother handheld shots, though its autofocus is much less reliable than that of the R10. Meanwhile, the Alpha 6400 is behind the times for video features and has a less intuitive user interface and ergonomics, but there are a wide range of native and third-party E-mount lenses to choose from. Its AF holds up quite well, too, and it's a little cheaper.